morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mama Africa United program on Covenant TV. Today is the 13th of April 2022. You know, as our program always unfolds, today we have another special guest with us because we have a big project that is not only a project, but this is the foundation. We are looking for a solid foundation on how to unify Africa. So we called it a mission and not a project. Today we have one of our daddy with us, and it's a great man of God from Ghana that has contributed one way or the other in the development of Africa and the might, because we all know the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So we here call our daddy to introduce himself and maybe lead us in a short prayer. So go ahead, daddy.
Thank you so much, Mama Africa. My name is Prophet Dr. Eliphaz Ankra, the president of House of Prophecy Ministries International, which is located in Ankra, Ghana, Santa Maria to be precise, family and friends pastor. And I come from a family of four strong brothers. Our mother is called Doris Ebu, and all the four brothers are prophets. All the four brothers, we are prophets. So to talk about myself, this is who I am.
That is just so great. So you come from a prophetic family that your brothers are all prophets. So that means we that prophetic day that our man of God is not only gonna preach, because we have a pandemic already and you are a prophet, man of God. And our pandemic here that is we are seeing now that is even worse than any other pandemic on earth is the pandemic of African youth migrating to the West. We've seen that our youth are all over the place. So, man of God, we really need not only prayers this time, but we need actions of religious leaders to help us to educate our youth on some of the reasons why we think that they should stay back home and whatever thing they can afford to. Sir, is it advisable for most of our youth to stay back home and try to create jobs?
Thank you so much for this question. I want to appreciate you and the platform and everybody who's watching us. The question is straightforward. The answer is yes. Our youth have to stay back home and help to develop Africa. But the major problem is that most of the youth don't have the skill. And I want to blame basically the church, because most of the men of God mount pulpits, and all that they do is to incite the people to tell them God will do it. God has done it. And the person go home and he doesn't even have a skill. So I believe strongly that if our youth can build up their skills, then we will be able to achieve a better Africa. Not just a world, but a better Africa. But without the skill and without employment, the youth will be forced to run away to the European nations and other parts of the world.
Tell us that the religious leaders, the religious bodies, are also responsible to change the mindset of our youth in a positive way.
Exactly. Because basically, let me talk about Ghana, where I come from. In the prophetic ministry, most people, when you go to churches, you basically hear prophet telling somebody, I see you traveling to America. I see you traveling to UK. I see you traveling to Canada. But we hardly hear people telling them that I see you going to the farm and working with your hand. Before God picked one of the sons of Jesse, God did not pick those who were in the house. He picked the one that was on the field. And that was David. God picked the one on the field. That was David. And for men to know that God was right in doing something, when the children of Israel were fighting Goliath, the Bible makes us to understand that the other brothers of David were on the field. The brothers of David were with King Saul on the battlefield. But what were they doing? They were hiding. But David, that was skillful, that had something doing, who have been killing lions and who have been killing bears. The Bible makes us understand that he stood up to confront the man by name Goliath. So what am I saying? For us to be able to do something, we need people that can do something with their hands. For this year in our church, God has told us that it's the year of raising giants. And as we are raising giants, we have to change the mindset of the people. Until the mindset of the people is transformed by the renewal of the word of God, the people will keep on coming to Europe where they think it's a greener pasture.
Man of God, we appreciate you so much. You just hit the hammer on the head of the nail, because there is where we come back to our youth training, empowerment, and skills. Because we find that, most youth might argue with us that man of God, you too, you do travel to the West. I myself, I live in the West, and now we are discouraging them not to come to the West. Man of God, most of them, we are educated. Here we are in Africa, we don't have jobs. Your answer if a youth man asks you that?
If you are educated, education is not work. The fact that you are educated does not mean it's work. Education is one thing and skill is another thing. If you tell me I go to Europe, I go to other part of the country, I have church here, where when you read Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 11, Jesus said it is work. Jesus told his father and his mother that, don't you want me to go about my father's business? So if I travel to Europe, I still have work here. What are you doing? You are educated. No one is employing you. Employ yourself. Nobody employed David in the army of Saul, but David employed himself. Nobody, because by standard of the Levitical order, Mama Africa, I'm talking as a pastor, David was not qualified to be in the army, and therefore he must only carry food to his brothers. And his role in the family was to be a shepherd, taking care of the sheep. That is the father's industry. But Bible makes us to understand that when the guy got there and he saw the challenge, he decided to stand up to the challenge. The boy did not even go with a tunic or an armor. He went with a stone and a sling. And the men that tunic and have the armor could not defeat Goliath. But that young boy, with a change of mind, with a paradigm that I can do something out for myself, was able to defeat Goliath. Africa, what we are going, nations are insulting us. But we take those who have the genuine mind to go up there and take up the challenge. Let me tell you, we tell people that slavery is over. There is nothing called slavery. There is nothing called whatever they call it. But we are still doing slavery. We are still enslaved. Look, when you go to Europe, when you go to some of these countries, the kind of job that people do, if you ask them to do it in Africa, they will not do it. If you say they should do the same work in Africa, they go and do nanny, carry people's mother, wash old women, clean their feces. Sorry to say. Whatever, if you stay in Ghana, you can also create a business that you take care of nannies and it will go a long way to help you. And some of the things I've been telling my church is that you see this thing called WhatsApp, this social media, people are making money with it. Africans, we are joking with it.
So, man of God, you see, our daddy is just saying exactly what we want to hear, more especially in this generation, because we are seeing that the mindset of most of the youth is so fixed on blame games. If they don't blame the masters, forgetting that slavery is already over. We've been colonized as a nation for some countries that 60, 61, 62, 63, 65, and so on and so forth. But we're still on the blame game, blaming the white people for our lack of education and lack of skills. Are we supposed to blame the European for our mistakes, sir?
Mama Africa, if you blame them or not, you are still poor. If you blame them or not, you are still poor. So stop blaming them. When you read the book of 2 Kings, we are told about four lepers who saved a whole town, a whole group of people. They said, if we sit here, we will die. If we go into the town, we will die. Let us go forward. God, if you want to blame the colonial masters, it's up to you. But you die poor. Most of the jewelries we are wearing were the resources. Like when you go to Sierra Leone, the diamond were taken from Sierra Leone to the European nations to do the jewelries we are wearing. So why somebody do that in Africa? Stop looking for people to support you and support yourself. Until you support yourself, nobody will support you.
Glory, glory. This is not just a spiritual word. This is physical reality here. My people, you see, we are hearing this word from the mouthpiece of God, because God is his servant and his mouthpiece. And that means almost God to you directly that this is time for Africans to go over the blame game and start working together. This time also, man of God, for Africans to be united, because we are seeing Africans, we are not trading among each other. Because, for example, that there is a train road that leads from Germany to Spain, because they are partnering, they are working together. Why are we Africans not working together? Do you have anything to say about that?
Africa, a very well question. I like this question. The unity is not there. Let me tell you something. All my life, it's only one time I travel by road to any other African country. I've traveled extensively by the grace of God. And when I travel by road to Nigeria, because my spiritual father, an authority over me, wanted me to accompany him to Nigeria for program. And he asked me to use the road from Ghana to Nigeria. The kind of molestation that we went through shows how we are not organized and how we are not united. From Liberia to Guinea, people go to tough times. So the problem is that there is no unity among Africans. Listen to me. I learned back, if somebody will correct me or I may be right, that those Chinese who come to Africa to do certain businesses, mostly galamsey, or taking the mineral resources, we believe that they said most of them are prisoners, ex-convicts who have been released from prison. When a black man sees his fellow black man, he sees him as an enemy. But when you see a white person, you see him as God.
I know, man of God. This has been
a black man will do
yes, sir.
A white colored person. That is why even our women are changing their color.
Glory. You see, man of God, you see, this, this is exactly why we decided to come out with a project like this, to come out with a movement, to come out with this sincere project that will really change our mindset, philosophy, and the way most Africans think. Because most Africans think the other way around. As you say, we can go out in foreign lands and work with them peacefully. We allow foreigners to come and use and abuse our land and our system. But we can do the same out there. So is this now the right time for Africa for us to believe that we have no other option but to be united? Is this time for us to be united?
The time even is long overdue, Mama Africa. The time is long overdue.
The time is long overdue. And Yes, sir.
That time came into existence after the independence of most
Yes,
African
please,
countries.
sir. Come talking about
When
independence, sir. Are you sure we are really independent? Because if we are, then why are we living on us and helps?
independent on paper, but not in reality.
Okay, we are independent on document, but not reality. Does it mean that we need to go back to the drawing board of our and try to, oh, we can just move from where we were or from where we are now to the future? Do you think we have chance of our mindset, that the mindset of to get back the mindset of a free person, that we are independent
Okay,
nation?
that can be done is that the individual must change first. If the individual will change, the collective of the individual that makes a country. I have to disclose some things. I've come to a place whereby I have to rebuke. I have to rebuke what I call an embassy for calling me to come for visa. I have to rebuke them for calling me to come for visa. And the one who called me a secretary, the only thing he could say is that he is surprised that a black man is refusing to come to the embassy for a visa.
I understand you, but I
When
wish to know the reason, like what prompts you to cancel or reject a visa to the West?
I was having a program at that time, and I'm doing kingdom business, not worldly business. And when I had that program, I had to travel at the same time. And I told the man of God that I can't come at that time. And the man of God did not listen to me, but he thought he could entice me like enticing other people or other men of God. And you talk about this man of God is a very reputable man of God in his country that put a call to the embassy. Nobody will refuse you. So he put the call only to try to move me by the call that the embassy is calling me. I said, no, 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 no. You called the wrong person. You've called the wrong. I will cancel my preaching appointment
That's
in
a
Ghana for a
strong
preaching
word. That's a
appointment in Europe.
blessing word, that
Nothing to do
one
that.
can reject a visa, not because you don't want to go, but because you make your nation a priority. But because you make your country, you put your country first. Because you see, whenever you respect your home, whoever that is outside will respect your home and the owner of the home.
Exactly.
Exactly. So,
Exactly.
man of God, yes, we come back to the same topic on our youth migration, but this time we want to turn it around to the females, because the female gender, because we find out that yes, our male are strong, even though it's not easy for them. But in the Bible, you just measure David that kills Goliath. He's a man, and now we're talking about female, our women, young girls. That are running away from Africa and traveling to different part of Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, looking for their green pastures. Um, do you think the government or our leaders should take responsibility of these women that are risking their life, like seeing our Nigerian sisters dying through the Mediterranean, be abused and molested in Morocco? What do you have to say about our female women going around the world? What do you think can be done to help us?
Mama Africa, sorry to use a very strong word, but I'll use it. Our most, align the word most in my mouth. Most of our females are lazy. Lazy. Lazy.
Is it lazy in their mind or lazy in their bones?
100% totality lazy. Listen to me. The way we bring up our children, our females in Africa, is wrong. Because anytime a mother or a father is bringing up a wife to a husband, and the husband will take care of you. So he's not prepared to work, but prepared for a man to take care of her. Woman of God, let me tell you this. We have women like Deborah that fought battles when men wanted not to fight. We have women like Esther that said, I will go before the king. If I die, I should die. The tomb and the resurrection of Christ, as we approach Easter, was first seen by women at dawn. Listen to me. Most of the work, I want to repeat myself in that angle, that our fellow women travel from Africa and go and do in Asia, Kuwait. That same work, you will not do it in Ghana. You will not do it in Liberia. You will not do it in Sierra Leone. You will not do it in South Africa. But will travel to Asia, Kuwait. We'll go to any other country just for people to know and to understand that he's in Europe. So they are doing the very work he refused in his own country. And that is the cause of the problem.
Daddy, may God reward you. May you live more longer to be a blessing more to this generation. You know, our daddy have said it again, you know, African ladies, most of we African ladies has to really change our mentality. We have to have the mentality of productivity. We have to have the mindset of adding value to our lives and stop waiting for men to take care of us. We are not meant to depend on men. In fact, as I on the book calls us helpmates. So how comes a helpmate can become a slave to their masters and try to help our own? Our man of God is saying here that African ladies have to change our mindset from being lazy in our mind and try to be more creative and try to add value to ourselves, like in the Bible, the story of Esther and every other great woman that ever existed. So please, now we come back to our trade. We notice that Africans, we don't trade among each other. They depend on trades. Most of our mothers before, they depend on agriculture, all this thing. But now that we are not trading among each other, how does that affect us affect Africa as a nation?
Okay, any country that don't buy from his own, or any continent that don't buy from his own, or it's all boiled down to greed. Because if Ghana is to sell to Nigeria and Ghana is to sell to USA, what you get from USA is bigger than what you get from Nigeria. Therefore, you prefer to sell to US than to sell to Nigeria, and which is a problem. They forget that anytime Nigerians does something or they manufacture something, it's easy for us to enjoy it in Ghana, because they are just our neighboring country or a border, than when US is to manufacture something. The cost of even buying from US and the cost of buying from Nigeria should be cheaper. But the problem is that we don't patronize our own products or our own things. And the thing is that I've also discovered something over the years, that whenever we do things ourselves, like slippers, you realize that it's sold at a very high rate as compared to the ones that are manufactured from China and other Asia countries. And that's some of the problem.
But why is it like that? Why are our products expensive among us that's supposed to be more cheaper than the foreign products? Why is it like that, sir?
Strongly is the mindset. I believe strongly is the mindset, because most people think, oh, okay, let me sell it, because they will not be buying frequently from me. They will not be buying in large quantities. So when I sell one, I have to earn $1 million. But if they are buying a lot from the people and he has a little profit, I think he can carry on.
Yes. Also, sir, do you think, is it not also because we don't have production machines that we produce mostly manually? That is why the costs are a little bit more expensive than normal.
That is also a factor. But the machines can be bought. If you take your phone, sometimes you realize that the cover of the phone is made in China. The battery is made in US. Some of the parts are from other countries. So if you don't have the machines, why don't you target getting a machine?
You're right, sir. So now we're going back to our natural resources, sir. Sorry about that, sir. Yeah, you go ahead. You wanted to say something? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Yes.
And the sad part is that we prefer to travel to go and work than to travel to go and learn.
We prefer to travel to go and work than travel to go and learn. That's where comes our other question, man of God, because we have a lot of Chinese and Indians, foreign investors, in more especially in Africa these days. Is this time for the government of Africa to reduce taxes on them so that they can train our youth different production skills? Is this time for them to partner to train our youth?
That would not be bad issue at all. And one thing I was looking for, and I will have been talking. I know it may be a wrong one, a wrong direction, but I think after we've trained our people to produce what we need, if like Ghana we produce rice and somebody want to import rice, we rather reduce, we will increase the taxes on the product we produce in our country so that people cannot just.
So you see, these are some of the pandemics that we Africans need to change. We need to change our mindset. We really need to change, because
one thing I always want to tell our leaders that is that as far as we are able to send doctors from Africa to do the manufacturing of or transforming our raw materials to become the finishing product, and we don't really have to let them, because I think I don't blame the youth completely.
You see, our daddy have been saying some very great thing that I love hearing.
He decided to go out there to go and how his wisdom
here in the West.
Yeah, it's a salary, and some of them too have the mind that even way back in school, you want to go to Europe, you want to go back to other country. She has that mind that Africa is not a place to live.
Okay, so man of, really appreciate your time. I just want to say, man of God, this is going to be my last before we close the program. I want to know, man of God, is this supposed to be elected to reach that goal in changing the mindset people? Is it to be a out of the religious leaders? We start from there to political leaders. So everyone in the society, you have to everyone, if you believe this is supposed to be a collective effort.
I believe strongly that the church has a role, the politicians has a role, and the fathers and the mothers or our family also has a role. And that role can, if it's properly pushed, a time will come. The Europeans will come to Africa and work for us. Because when you come to Ghana, where I come from, the town where I come, Obuasi, there is something called Anglo Gold. That's our we see white men working for the government, working in that industry. So I believe strongly that if Bible says faith comes by hearing, and the hearing of the word of God, that means the more somebody hears something, the more his mindset is transformed. So I believe that constantly, if the political leaders, the pastors or the churches and the family heads opportunity that they get, and with a platform like Mama Africa's platform, I believe that results will be achieved.
Thank you so much, our great man of God.